Is it possible to see the world around us in black and white? It can be difficult to look at something and actually know how it's gonna look in your final print or scan. Well, in this video, I'm gonna share with you some useful tools and techniques that will enhance your ability to visualize in black and white. And then towards the end, I'll share some comparison images to see how these tools and techniques stack up. So let's start with this idea of pre-visualization. So we're consciously trying to visualize and see what the final image is gonna look like while we're actually looking at the subject we're shooting. Okay, but how does this work when we see in color, and how can we actually visualize our subject in black and white? Well, in the book, The Negative by Ansel Adams, he suggests starting with the two extreme points. That would be the brightest highlights and darkest shadows to kind of use those as reference points. Then work your way in from each towards the middle tones. And he also goes on to state how subjective effects of different colors play a huge role in how we see the tonality in a scene. So if you place the gray card next to a dark object, then next to a white object, and then place them all together, the gray takes on different appearances. None of the actual values have changed, but the subjective effects are introduced. And then he goes on to state that the beginner's problem is to become aware of light and tonal values in terms of print values. And the accuracy of perception increases with study and practice. Some people seem to be able to visualize black, white, and middle gray with ease, and others have learned to do so through extensive practice in photography without consciously attempting visualization as such. Others must work quite hard to learn to visualize something as abstract as a black and white photograph while viewing a subject. Unfortunately, I'm in the last category, and it's always been challenging to visualize how things are gonna look in black and white for me. In fact, when the Neuralink goes mainstream and everybody's getting their implants, that's gonna be the first upgrade I get. Give me the HP5 filter, please. But until then, it looks like practice and putting in the reps would be my best and first strategy to get better at this. And I know I kind of beat this like a dead horse, but I'm just gonna say it again. Just be consistent with your film so you can kind of get to know like how it renders certain values and tones. So there are some tools that can help us with this as well, one being like a viewing filter. So I have this Kodak Ratin number 90, and this is the one that's actually recommended in the book, The Print, or The Negative, by Ansel Adams. So it's sort of this dark amber color filter. This can help you visualize in black and white by masking color saturation in a similar way that your film responds to color. And what this does is helps identify areas of color that would otherwise have similar gray values, and those can be hard to identify. Now the Ratin filter, the one I have, is just a gel, and it's a bit expensive for what it is. Now Tiffin also makes one that has a lanyard and seems like it would hold up better when you're out shooting, and it might be a better option, and it's even cheaper, so I'll link that one down below. But I can honestly even say that I've found just looking through any colored filter when it's on my camera seems to help eliminate some of the confusing color information. So the more intense the color, kind of the more effective it is, but your mileage may vary, so kind of play around with this. Hey, real quick, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss future videos like this one. All right, being that we're not living in 1980 anymore, we do have some powerful digital ways to help us see our vision in black and white. And this can be using a digital camera with the live viewfinder or a mirrorless camera, just set to like the monochrome or black and white mode, and we can magically view our subject in black and white. However, this does require us to bring along another camera, so this might not be super ideal for you. A better solution might be to use an app like the Viewfinder app. With this, you can actually set the black and white profile to some black and white film stocks like FP4 and HP5, and it's gonna give you hopefully a more accurate feel of what the final image is gonna look like. In a bit, I will give a direct comparison using this app and a final image. But I really love this app as it works great as a framing tool as well, and I use it for shooting all the time. You can select the format and focal length to frame up your scene before setting up your camera. So it's just super handy. Okay, well, let's jump into how accurate these methods actually are. Well, here's the final image that I shot on HP5 film, and it was developed in HC110. So if I compare it to the Retin number 90, this is just my digital camera with the filter over the lens. So in fairness, it's much harder to compare it this way. And then here's the comparison to the Viewfinder app with the HP5 profile. And I would have to say I was really impressed by the Viewfinder app and how the framing for my lens selection, it was absolutely spot on, and the exposure on the app matched exactly what I metered with my spot meter. So this app does seem to be very, very promising in both regards. So for me, I continually shoot and practice trying to visualize what my final image is gonna look like in black and white, and more importantly, what I want my final image to look like. So some people are gifted and we're just born being able to see in black and white, apparently. But for most of us, we have to just sort of put in the reps and keep practicing and use some of these tools to help us. So let me know down in the comments below, do you use any of these techniques or know of others that help to visualize things in black and white? And if you enjoyed this video, I think you're gonna love the next one coming up right here.